Have you ever wondered which places in the world instantly light up the moment you say I'm Filipino, as if you've just reunited with an old friend? It's fascinating how some countries not only welcome us, but see Filipinos as essential pieces that keep their society running every single day. But why do they appreciate us so deeply? Is it the warm, charming smile? The kind of hard work that earns genuine respect? Or the quiet resilience that helps Filipinos stay strong, even when life abroad turns out tougher than expected? In this video, you'll join me as we explore 10 countries where Filipinos are respected, trusted, and given opportunities in truly meaningful ways. And I'm sure that when you hear the very last country on this list, a gentle wave of pride will run down your spine. Let's begin with a place that is longing for the warmth carried by hearts from the Philippines. Number 10, Spain. The vibrant land of Kabbalah streets, golden afternoons that feel like honey, and the gentle sound of guitar drifting from old balconies. As breathtaking as it is, this country is facing a difficult reality. Its population is aging too quickly. More than 20% of its people are over 65. And record low birth rates leave many homes feeling empty. And in that quiet space, Filipinos arrive like soft rays of sunlight. In the city of Valencia lives Linda, 46 from Bay. She began caring for Donna Alina, an elderly widow living in a spacious yet silent house. On their first day, the old woman spoke only a few polite, distant words, but just 2 weeks later, Donna Alina told her Linda, "This home hasn't heard laughter in years. Thanks to you, it's alive again." Linda never did anything grand. She simply cooked a warm bowl of soup, played a little bolero, and shared stories about her hometown. Yet that gentle warmth encouraged the old woman, who had shut herself off for so long, to slowly open her heart. One autumn evening, Donna Alina held Linda's hand and said, "If Spain needs youth, then I need the heart of the Filipino people." Today, more than 50,000 Filipinos live in Spain, mostly in healthcare and family caregiving. Elderly care centers even prioritize Filipino workers for their patients' cleanliness and deep sensitivity to the emotions of older adults. And the moment that surprised Linda the most, on her birthday, the entire neighborhood brought her cakes and flowers. "Your family is far away," they told her, "but here you have us, a small gesture, yet enough to show why Filipinos are so deeply cherished." In the country longing for a touch of gentle warmth. Number 9, Italy, where the quiet canals of Venice reflect centuries-old rooftops, where Florence carries the warm smell of roasted coffee each morning, and where time seems to slow down so people can savor the delicate beauty of life. Yet behind that classic charm lies a growing worry. Italy's traditional crafts and small artisanal workshops are running out of young hands. Leather shops, shoemakers, tailoring studios, many are struggling to find patient, meticulous workers who can keep these traditions alive. This is why Filipinos are welcomed in Italy, not because of how many we are, but because of the quality and heart we bring into every tiny detail. Asterisk. In a small leather workshop in Florence works Angelo, 29 from Iloilo. On his first day, he expected to handle simple tasks. But the owner, a perfectionist Italian, noticed something in the way Angelo held a needle. Gentle, steady, and full of soul. One day, the workshop received a special order, a pair of handcrafted leather shoes for a famous collector. When the team struggled with the final stitch, Angelo suggested a subtle color blend he learned from his mother, who used to sew ceremonial dresses back home. The owner tried it and immediately smiled. At the exhibition, the pair of shoes Angelo completed was placed right at the center. Beneath it was a small line, crafted by Angelo Philippines. That day, Angelo stood still for a long moment. He never imagined that in the world's capital of art, the name Philippines would be honored like that. Today, More than 165,000 Filipinos live in Italy, mostly in Rome, Milan, and Florence. They work in fashion, garment making, caregiving, and service. Italians appreciate the finesse, politeness, and quick adaptability of Filipinos, qualities they consider a rare gift. And for Angelo, the best part wasn't seeing the shoes on display. It was hearing his boss tell him, "You don't just do good work. You put your whole heart into it." Number 8. Ireland, the green island where endless fields roll toward the horizon, where ancient stone castles hide in the morning mist, and where lively violin tunes float out from cozy pubs in Dublin. Despite its peaceful charm, Ireland is facing major shortages in food processing, logistics, and manufacturing. And interestingly, Filipinos are among the workers the Irish admire most for teamwork, warmth, and a naturally friendly spirit. In the city of Cork lives Mariel, 33, from Pampanga. She works in a food processing plant, a steady job that demands quick hands and strong coordination. On her first shift, Mariel worried she wouldn't keep up, especially when the Irish spoke so fast she understood maybe half of it. But just a few days later, she was unexpectedly invited to join the company's handball team, a sport she had never played before. That night, she debated for hours. Should she join or not? But at her very first practice, her Irish teammates handed her a jersey printed with Mariel, the smiling one. They told her, "We want your energy on the team." A simple sentence. Yet it nearly brought her to tears. In the months that followed, the factory got busier and the work heavier. But Mariel noticed something beautiful. She no longer felt alone. She had a team. Evenings spent with milk tea at a newly opened Asian cafe, and co-workers who treated her like family. Today, more than 30,000 Filipinos live in Ireland, a number that continues to grow as the country prioritizes hardworking, flexible, and community-minded people. And when Mariel blew out the candles in her small apartment, her entire handball team sang for her in that unmistakable Irish accent. "You're home now," they said. Just a short phrase, but enough to explain why Filipinos are so loved on this green island. Number 7. Germany, the land of perfectly tuned machines, trains that arrive down to the minute, and industrial zones so vast they take your breath away. Germany's powerful economy is facing a shortage of tens of thousands of technical workers. Each year, especially in robotics, assembly, and precision engineering. And surprisingly, Filipinos are seen as both highly suitable and deeply reliable in this disciplined environment. In Munich lives Jarek, 32, from Quezon. He works as a technician supporting robotic lines in a major factory. On his first day, the loud engines and complex control panels made him want to step back. Can I really meet their standards? That question stayed with him for days. Then one shift, something went wrong. The main robotic arm suddenly stopped in the middle of production. The German engineers struggled for more than an hour, unable to locate the issue. Jarek, still new, politely asked to check it himself. He noticed a tiny misalignment in a sensor, something no one had considered. When the robot came back to life, the entire workshop stood up and applauded. The manager told him, "Jarek, today you saved our whole line." From that moment on, Jarek no longer felt like an outsider. He was enrolled in a robot upgrade program, and later entrusted with leading a small team. Today, more than 20,000 Filipinos live in Germany, a number that continues to rise. As the country needs more technical workers and caregivers, Germans value Filipinos for their focus, responsibility, and ability to learn quickly under pressure. And for Jarek, the proudest moment wasn't the praise from his manager, it was calling home to tell his mother that an entire factory stood up to thank him. A small moment, perhaps, but enough to understand why Germany respects the steady, resilient heart of the Filipino people. Number 6. Norway, the land of majestic fjords, forests wrapped in white snow, and northern lights dancing across the sky like glowing ribbons. Though peaceful and wealthy, Norway is facing a difficult challenge: a serious shortage of workers in its healthcare system, especially in elder care. And once again, Filipino hearts have become the warm light they trust the most. In the city of Bergen lives Riona, 25, from Dumaguete. She works as a nursing assistant in a care home, a job that demands endurance, patience, and a gentle, observant spirit. When she first arrived in Norway, the biting cold and long winter nights overwhelmed her. She cried more than once in her tiny rented room, thinking she would never adjust. But one evening, while preparing tea for Ingrid, a 78-year-old widow who lived quietly after her husband passed, Riona told her about the blue waters of her hometown and the joyful laughter during fiesta season. The old woman suddenly held her hand and said, "You've brought spring here." Just one sentence, yet enough to melt the feeling of being lost in winter that had followed her for months. Because of her warm attitude and thoughtful care, Riona became loved by everyone in the home. She studied the Norwegian language, and soon she was entrusted with leading a small team during night shifts, something many foreigners take years to achieve. Today, more than 20,000 Filipinos live in Norway, mostly in healthcare and social services. Norwegians see Filipinos as positively multi-hearted, strong, kind, and deeply reliable. And for Riona, the moment she treasures most is when Ingrid told her, "Don't forget, you're not just working. You're healing someone's heart." And with those words, the long Norwegian winter felt a little less cold. Number 5. Sweden, a peaceful country of deep green pine forests, mirror-still lakes, and red wooden houses glowing softly against the landscape. Sweden is known as one of the happiest nations in the world. Yet behind that calm beauty is a growing need for workers in logistics and warehousing fields that rely on people who are meticulous, honest, and patient. And it's no surprise that many Swedish companies choose Filipinos as their top candidates. In the city of Malmö works Junri, 40, from Bacolod. He is a warehouse manager in a major shipping company. His job isn't loud or dramatic, but it demands absolute accuracy. One tiny mistake could delay hundreds of shipments. On his first day, Junri spoke very little. He simply observed, took notes, and quietly learned the system. A week later, he discovered that an incoming batch had been entered under the wrong quota, small-looking error that could have cost the company a huge penalty if left unchecked. He reported it immediately, even when others thought it was nothing. But after the system was reviewed, everyone realized Junri had just saved the company from a massive fine. A few months later, his manager handed him the key to the main warehouse, reserved only for those who had earned complete trust. "You're not just good at what you do," the manager told him. "You're honest in a way that makes us feel secure." Today, more than 15,000 Filipinos live in Sweden, many working in logistics, healthcare, and social services. Swedes appreciate Filipinos for being reliable, friendly, and respectful of rules, 3 qualities they consider essential to maintaining a happy society. For Junri, holding that warehouse key wasn't just a professional milestone. It was a reminder that even far from home, the greatest values Filipinos carry are sincerity and responsibility. Number 4. The United Kingdom, the misty land where trains weave quickly through London, where the old villages of Yorkshire look like paintings, and where gentle rain on Edinburgh's rooftops creates a feeling of quiet nostalgia. After Brexit, the UK's service industry faced a serious labor shortage. Hotels, restaurants, customer support, everywhere needed people who could work fast, work smart, and work with genuine heart. And that is why Filipinos are welcomed as silent heroes. In the city of Liverpool works Hazel, 37, from Laguna. She is a shift manager at a small riverside hotel along the Mersey, a place constantly buzzing with tourists. Hazel is known for her warm smile and her remarkable ability to handle problems with calm precision. But her greatest challenge came one busy evening, When the booking system broke down and more than 15 groups of guests couldn't find their reservations, the entire lobby slipped into chaos. While other staff began to panic, Hazel stayed steady. She grouped the guests, arranged temporary rooms, apologized to every family, and coordinated with a partner hotel nearby. Within 40 minutes, everything was back in order. An elderly guest held her hand and said, "You saved our night." The next day, the hotel owner called a small meeting and announced that Hazel would receive expanded authority. She would now oversee the entire night shift, a responsibility usually reserved for long-experienced local staff. Today, more than 200,000 Filipinos live in the United Kingdom, many working in service, healthcare, and education. The British appreciate Filipinos for their professionalism, gentle communication style, and the way they consistently make customers feel cared for. For Hazel, the moment she'll never forget is what that elderly guest told her. "Not everyone could have handled it the way you did. Thank you for bringing the Filipino heart to the UK." Number 3, New Zealand, a gentle island nation of snow-capped mountains, endless green pastures stretching toward the horizon, and quiet little towns where life moves as softly as the wind. Across the hills, as breathtaking as it is, New Zealand is facing a major shortage of workers in agriculture and livestock farming, 2 pillars of its economy, and Filipinos have become an irreplaceable part of the farms that keep this country thriving. In the Canterbury region works Jomar, 30 from Pampanga. He works on a dairy farm, a job that starts at 4 in the morning, cold, damp, and at times incredibly exhausting. On his first day, Jomar thought he wouldn't last, but when he saw the distant mountains turning pink under the sunrise, he whispered to himself, "I can do this one rainy afternoon." While checking the creek behind the farm, Jomar heard a faint cry. A small calf had slipped into the muddy bank. Without hesitation, he jumped down and lifted the calf out of the freezing water. When the farm owner heard what happened, he said with emotion in his voice, "You didn't just save a calf, you saved my family. That one is the offspring of our best cow from that day." Jomar was no longer the new guy from the Philippines. He became part of the farm itself. He learned to operate modern milking machines, analyze nutrition for the herd, and was entrusted with managing his own section. Today, more than 70,000 Filipinos live in New Zealand. Kiwis admire Filipinos for their sincerity, hard work, and something truly special. No matter how heavy the job gets, they always find a reason to smile. For Jomar, the moment he treasures most is a sunset afternoon, when the farm owner stood beside him and said, "Without you, this land would be missing something." In standing in the vast open fields, Jomar understood that sometimes a second home isn't the place we choose, but the place that chooses us. Number 2, Canada, the vast country of fiery red maple forests in autumn, glass-still lakes in Ontario, and modern cities where countless cultures live side by side in harmony. Despite its strong growth, Canada faces a serious shortage of workers in technology, healthcare, and skilled trades. And what's remarkable is this: Filipinos are seen as one of the most stable, hardworking, and quickly adapting communities in the entire nation. In the city of Toronto lives Nadine, 29, from Cavite. She graduated in it, but it took her 4 failed interviews and 1 rejected application because of insufficient experience. There was a moment when Nadine thought of giving up, but on a snowy evening, she made a decision to try one more time. The 6th attempt on that interview day, she was so nervous she even forgot her introduction. But when the manager asked, "What kept you from giving up?" she answered softly, "Because I believe there's a place out there that needs me." A simple response, yet it touched the heart of the recruiter. A week later, she received an email saying she'd been hired by a tech startup. In the months that followed, Nadine worked tirelessly. She studied more about artificial intelligence, assisted the product development team, and was the only one who spotted a critical bug right before the app's launch. When the project succeeded, Her team lead turned to her and said, "Nadine, without you, we would have been in serious trouble." Today, more than 900,000 Filipinos live in Canada, making it the fastest growing Asian community in the country. Canadians admire Filipinos not only for their skills, but for their humility, adaptability, and that rare never give up spirit, something that truly stands out in a highly competitive environment. For Nadine, the moment she cried quietly on the bus after receiving her acceptance email wasn't about getting a job. It was because she realized that sometimes all it takes is one more try, and life opens a brand new door. Number 1, the USA, the vast country of glowing skyscrapers, endless fields stretching toward the horizon, and cities where life moves faster than a heartbeat. As the world's strongest economy, the United States still needs hundreds of thousands of workers every year in education, healthcare, technology, and public service. And in a nation this large, Filipinos have become an essential community, loved for their patience, dedication, and hopeful spirit. In the state of Texas works Lorenzo, 34, from Baguio. He's a math teacher at an elementary school. On his first day, the classroom was noisier than he expected. The kids were restless, and Lorenzo feared he wouldn't be able to make an impression. But then he chose to teach math the same way. He fell in love with it years ago, through stories. Instead of writing formulas on the board, he shared little tales about the bamboo bridge, back home about calculating change, while helping his mother at the market. And something wonderful happened. The children began to focus, then raise their hands, then laugh along with each example he gave. One afternoon after class, a shy student handed Lorenzo a small box. Inside wasn't a gift, just a tiny note. "You made me believe I can be good at math too." Lorenzo stood still for a few minutes. In a country as big as America, someone was changing because of what he did. Today, more than 4 million Filipinos live in the United States, the largest Filipino community outside the homeland. Americans admire Filipinos for having golden hearts, patient, dedicated, and always bringing positive energy wherever they go. For Lorenzo, the proudest part isn't the good salary or the possibility of settling down. It's the moment he looks at his noisy classroom and thinks, "Here, I'm not just working, I'm planting hope." And just like that, we've traveled through 10 different countries, yet they all share one thing in common. They cherish the hard work, kindness, and genuine smiles of the Filipino people. Whether in Europe's snowy landscapes or the bustling cities of America, Filipinos always carry a warmth that makes the world open its heart. Thank you for watching until the very end. Thank you for staying with us through each story, small yet filled with pride. If this video touched you in any way, feel free to leave a comment, hit like, or subscribe. Only if you'd like to continue this journey with us. See you again in the next adventure.